Today is Saturday, April 15th, 2010, and Carolyn's intuitive self has asked me to take a message from Father God in relation to the question that I had Carolyn ask, which is the distinction between her intuitive self and her higher self. And so I'm here to take Father God's message in relation to this. And he is saying, the thing that we encourage people to do is to connect to their intuition as the primary guidance to them in their lives. And it is an interesting question that you raise, the distinction between the intuition or the intuitive self and the higher self. And you could add the difference between the intuitive self and the egoic self, the self you take yourself to be. And it is an important distinction. So I felt it valuable to explain this in a little detail for you. The intuitive self is an aspect of the higher self. However, it is different from the higher self in the sense that it carries a much closer connection to the egoic self. It is much more in tune with the detailed unfolding of experience in your dimension. And so it sits with the knowledge of the higher self, but tempers it with the experience of the egoic self in your dimension, you could say. And it is, you could say, like a real-time monitor, completely aware of and in tune with everything that is unfolding in your experience. And so it's there to guide continuously, whereas the higher self is less connected in this way. It carries great knowledge and wisdom and has the ability to communicate to many other beings. However, in and of itself, it lacks that, you could say, integration with the egoic self. And as a result, the intuitive self is much more in tune with the requirements of you as an individual. And it is a much more reliable guide and has, in many ways, a broader access to knowledge than the higher self. This might sound strange, but it has, you could say, access to threads of consciousness that are not so readily accessible by the higher self. And so it is the intuitive self that humanity needs to truly connect with as, you could say, the spiritual guide in their moment-to-moment living, because that's what it's designed for. It's what it's designed for. And it does its job beautifully when you allow it to do so, when you trust it, when you connect with it. And it is perhaps the only thing, the only expression of consciousness that will always, always, always be truthful. There are distortions which can interfere with the seeming expression of truth by other expressions of consciousness. But these cannot interfere with the intuitive self. So it is truly the most reliable guide for you to step forward in your life. That is its purpose, and it is exquisitely designed and executed. So it is a beautiful question you have asked, and I have noticed you, Richard, beginning to pick up on this distinction and to focus on it. And you have watched the results come forth from doing so. And it is one of the most powerful things for you to teach humanity as you begin to step forth. And so there is great basis for this encouragement you see by many teachers to trust your intuition. It's very, very well founded. And so it is.